Hi guys, thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. This is your reading for Chiron in Aries. I'm excited to be here with you and to do this reading for you. Let's take a look at your first card. This kind of popped off. It was the Two of Coins. So careful and deliberate movement forward, although sometimes not trusting the direction that you're going. Maybe this is to do with like figuring out whether or not you have an alignment within who you are. Chiron and Aries will make us all doubt who we are. That's to prove to the world and to ourselves what defines us a little bit more. People who are born with Chiron and Aries were mostly born in the 70s or in the 20s. So it's been a while since that happened. So late 60s, I think, 69 through like late 70s. So it's the 70s generation in which people kind of put together all the lessons that we learned from Chiron and Pisces, and it was like disco was big, and there was like a lot of kind of showboating attitudes, like gunslinging, that kind of thing. But when you actually break it down, what's actually happening is a doubt of who you are, right? Which is Chiron and Aries. Let's take a look at your next card. We have the Three of Wands, and what this represents is that there's something coming in as a byproduct of your efforts that you have put into the world up until now. So you doubt yourself, but there is already proof. There's a case against you or for you of deliverables that you have accumulated through your actions. Here is the next message. It's not against you. I'm just kidding. Queen of Wands, because I said case, right? So the free association was with like a court case. Queen of Wands, a Sag, a Leo, or an Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So I feel as though something is coming in for you very, very quickly. Something that is supposed to kind of lift you up and give you some perspective. A person's going to come into your life. They're going to have fire signs in them. Sag, Leo, or Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Secondary placements in water. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, right? So that's just a blueprint. It can be a man or a woman, but anyway, so I feel as though there is like an outcome of you needing to project forward stronger than you are now, and the reason you're not projecting your identity forward as strongly as you need to be has to do with the fact that you in some ways doubt it. And let's find out what sign we're reading for. I'm going to do the roll of the dice. It's either Gemini or Libra, and then we're going to do a final rolling of the dice at the end of the video. So Capricorn first and then Gemini right off the second. So this is you, Gemini. I actually thought it was you as I was doing this reading. So there's like the byproduct of your actions is coming in, Gemini, and now I know what to say a little bit more to you because of the other readings I've done for you guys. So the byproduct of where you have been leading to through actions, there's a shame with the Two of Coins, especially in this card. Look at this. There's this kind of bowed over, shameful, and of course the two marionettes on each side of this figure's body represent, to me at least, the good angel and the bad angel. One marionette has red hair and one has blue, so that makes me think of the Matrix and the red pill, blue pill kind of scenario. And I think that there's like a query within your heart about which way is the authentic way forward. But I think soon something is coming in to kind of lift you up and distract you in certain ways. I think that this energy will be a breath of fresh air, but at the same time I think it'll be a pretty heavy distraction for what you are doing. And maybe in this kind of intermediate time frame from now until July 2019, I want to specify because this reading is actually from 2019 through 2026. That's the transit of Chiron and Aries. But in this beginning phase, what Gemini is working through is the awareness that you need to shift direction, really go 90 degrees. And either you're going to be in denial or you're going to use other people around you as through which you can deny that for yourself, if that makes any sense. So let's take a look at your chart. I actually didn't see your chart yet, so we'll look at it together. And let me know if you guys like the chart. I love the chart, but so here's the chart. Hey girl, hey. And then we have Chiron in the 11th house, friendship. So it's not about whether or not you have friends. It's how your personality is mediated through your friends. How your friends influence your personality and who you come out on the other side. So it's that process. What I feel about her right away, this clicks in right away. This Queen of Wands, positive, because you're looking down at your feet. So she helps you look up. She doesn't look down at her feet because she's so busy looking at herself in the mirror. Just kidding. But the Queen of Wands is kind of up and up attitude. She has like the, frown to no one, but that's the typical energy of the Queen of Wands, light and bright kind of person. She definitely has a shadow, but the point is that she's really about keeping things light and bright. Let's keep it at that. And so what I think is happening with this Chiron here in your 11th house of friendship, it's much less about who your friends are, and maybe in some way it's helping you heal from feeling as though you don't have friends, or there have been some circumstances in which friendship has been a burden for you. But that's one thing. That's somebody who's very happy and very forthcoming and agreeable is coming into your life. So that's great. On the other side, and this is Chiron, right? That's why I'm reading it in a constructive way. What's going to happen is distraction. So in some way, be careful of what you are buying into, because in some way it's going to reformulate how you are. And then you're going to be beginning to conform to this kind of dynamic and away from your true nature. In some degree, that's a good thing, but I think that in some respect that it might be a part of the issue with Chiron in Aries. Remember, Chiron in Aries is I am. So it's an infirmity in the self. So Gemini, your infirmity, because Aries is always here in your 11th house, your I am is so vested in other people, right? That's the 11th house. Your friends specifically. So for you, this identity piece through other people is going to be challenged first as incentive, someone who's good, kind, lifts you out of a funk. But then later also, how far can this be carried away to the point that you may start questioning who you are? So it's good when you let people influence us, when we allow people to influence us to be better people. But sometimes, and I've been there myself, when you have a friend who I've spent time with people for a long time, and then, kind of at the end of the friendship or when I spend time with them less, I'm like, whoa, that's so different. Suddenly I'm playing billiards and, stuff that's totally not like me. And then when you come back into yourself, or like cars, oh, hey, I love cars so much. I couldn't care less about cars, whatever. So whatever it is that is influencing you, be careful of, take it with a little bit, but be careful of overindulging and thereby kind of losing yourself. Queen of Coins, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, secondary transits in water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. We're looking at the 8th house, right? Changes and transitions, kind of burdens. Maybe it's been too heavy. Maybe you have had too many earth-type people around you, and it's just getting too heavy, too intense, too much reality, like kind of shoved in your face. So I feel like maybe with this transit, that's where the Two of Coins, that's why you're kind of face palming it. It's like, how do I get out of this? Remember also, Lilith is at the top of your chart, and as much as people are trying to kind of say she's good and feisty, yes, in reality, I always tell my clients this, that there's spiritual level to the chart, and then there's the practical side. As a Virgo, I know that you want to live your life, you want to have certain things. It's not all about, whimsy and imagination. So on a spiritual sense, yes, we grow and we evolve and whatever. But in a practical sense, this is no joke. and especially at the beginning of this transit in 2019. No joke. And it is a trine, a sextile, excuse me, to the sun here, right at the beginning of the transit. This is for April, so in April, that's when it's going to get very intense. The top of your chart is what's really getting a big push to manifesting. So what I'm getting at is, I feel like in some way this Lilith transit can in some way institute in your life a certain degree of chaos. You may quickly turn and form a bond or some kind of verbal arrangement with the Queen of Wands, and then you're going to get wrapped up in another situation. As you are going through a larger transition pattern in your 8th house of change and endings, there's going to be a lot of endings, there's going to be a lot of changes that you have to contend with. So be careful what you're signing up for. It's almost like you're sowing seeds just as things are ending, because you're trying to get firm ground. In some way, having this disrupted, the earth element, the element of physicality, can be extremely kind of disorienting. And so you could be trying to kind of grapple, I always get stuck on this word, so get a grip on something else that you can kind of foresee as an anchor for yourself, some kind of stable ground, because when these people, earth people like me, we bring a lot of stability and consistency into your life. So if this is changing for you in some way, suddenly you start kind of trying to get a grip on something else, and that can create quite a whirlwind, especially with Lilith there. So I'm seeing like 3 transits interacting, and the advice is to slow down, pay attention. You're in a U-turn, kind of, not U-turn, but a 90-degree angle shift here, so honor that. It's not a bad thing. Here is the next message. We have the 5 of Wands. Okay, so yeah, strife, we've discussed this. I thought I was going a little long, but I think I just got into this too far. And then we have the Knight of Cups, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, secondary transits in air, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. So I feel like maybe you're becoming too much like this, too Knight of Cups. Maybe you, in order to relate to this Queen of Wands, you speak through your emotions and be like, yeah, I get you, and like all that, but that's not you, right? So when we start building false masks of who we are, when we start like pretending we're like one thing that we're really not, I mean, what we pretend to be, we become anyway, invariably. But also there's all this energy here that seems anxious, frankly. Like you're doing something out of anxiety, and thereby you're constructing an identity that's not truly you, which is Chiron and Aries. That's what we're talking about. And so what you're going to end up confronting is the divergence of that, right? So you're going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. It's just a simple, gentle warning that you should not, start making a caricature of yourself, right? Okay, so here's your dice. We're going to do I'm just going to give you guys a couple numbers. So we have 9, closure of things. This is a big pattern of endings. 10 breaks down to 1, right? 1 and 0. So it's a bit of an imaginary number, I think. So it's kind of a magical number. It's the magician's number, which is also your ruler. So I feel like you're in the cusp of a transition that fits really well to what I'm describing for 2019 in your readings. Those are in the description in the Gemini playlist. Okay, so here are your planets. So you have Jupiter to watch out for in a good way, like just pay attention. Jupiter and the moon. So the moon's going to be a tough transit to watch out for because it moves so fast. But watch out for moon in Gemini every month. Watch out for June. Watch out for June maybe. But watch out for the moon in Aries as well. Those things could be eye-opening experiences. Jupiter is in your 7th house this year, right here in partnership. So this could be a lot to do with transitions of partners and trying to find yourself outside of those dynamics in new relationships. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am going to do an extended on Vimeo in the February playlist and the super duper bonus playlist. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.